And Hurricane Ian is moving toward Florida after hitting Cuba today. More than 50,000 people were evacuated from Cuba's western tip. The forecast included 16 inches of rain and 14 feet of storm surge. Dozens of shelters were set up and farmers took steps to protect tobacco crops. In Key West, Florida, people were taking pictures at the southernmost point. You can see the big waves coming up and right over the barrier. This is just the early impact of the outer bands of Hurricane Ian. And then after hitting Cuba, Hurricane Ian could strengthen over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico before reaching Florida as early as Wednesday as a Category 4 storm with winds of 140 miles per hour. The Tampa and Fort Myers area could see the worst of the storm with wind and rain, storm surge, and extreme flooding. Evacuations are underway. In Tampa, the airport there just shut down about 30 minutes ago. Flights were canceled to get airplanes to a safe spot before the storm hits.
We've been tracking this storm very closely. It's a very dangerous system. And of course, as a critical infrastructure for the state, we're going to do our best to stay open as long as possible to support the citizens of the Tampa Bay region. However, with the storm and the intensity of the winds, we will close today at 5 p.m. That's 5 p.m. today, no more commercial flights. Airlines are already canceling flights, moving airplanes to safer places, and you should always check before you come out here in case your flight's been canceled.
AAA here in Western New York is tracking down local travelers who are in Florida to see if they need any help getting out ahead of the storm. We spoke with Elizabeth Carey, the Director of Public Relations and Corporate Communications, about the limited options to get home.
Right now, there are no flights to be had out of the state of Florida. We had one traveler who wanted to come back because they were being evacuated out of Tampa, and we couldn't get him a flight anywhere. The closest one was Atlanta Wednesday night. So they decided to drive all the way back to New York.
And looking ahead to the Bills game this Sunday in Baltimore, we asked if the storm might have a lingering impact on travel this weekend.
A lot of people are driving. It's not too bad of a drive from Buffalo to Baltimore, but a lot of people are planning on flying out Friday. There's 5 direct flights on Southwest between Buffalo and Baltimore on Friday. So we'll be anxious to see if all those take off on time. And it's possible that things could be delayed. So again, following that advice and making sure you're using the airline's app to get the most up-to-date information on your individual flight.
And the Bills kick off in Baltimore at 1 p.m. The next time you book a flight for a Bills game or any special getaway, President Joe Biden wants you to know exactly what you're paying for. Yesterday, he introduced a proposal from the Transportation Department that would make airlines and websites like Kayak and Expedia show a complete price before you buy.
A few years back, they had a similar rule go into place where it broke down and it showed you what taxes and fees might be added on. This is kind of just taking things a step further, and it's showing you what you might be charged as far as baggage and family fees to sit together, et cetera. Some of these airlines are adding on more and more fees, and it's important that travelers know exactly what the cost is going to be to them up front.
According to the Transportation Department, airlines made nearly $5.3 billion on baggage fees last year. The proposed rule would impact all domestic flights and any flights to and from the U.S.